Hey, Sparkles, here's the deal. If you want to get back to Asberg,
Asgard,
any contender who defeats my champion, their freedom they shall win.
fine, then point me in the direction of whoever's ass I have to kick.
Welcome back to Something Spoiled. Scott here today. I want to quickly talk about Thor Ragnarok. This is going to be a quick and dirty review with very little spoilers because me and the boys want to talk about this one a little bit more later next week when we do our recap of the MCU, everything that's happened until now. This movie is the 18th installment in the MCU and the third movie in the Thor series. Taika Waititi has been an independent director up till now. You may remember seeing his name on things like What We Do in the Shadows, which has become a cult classic, and he does a fine job here with Thor Ragnarok. You already know that Ragnarok is the all-out battle for Asgard. When Hela returns from banishment, she is looking to stake her claim, and she's willing to kill everybody in the universe to get it. As a result of this battle, it sees Thor being thrown into prison, where he is forced to compete in gladiatorial combat with his friend from work, the Incredible Hulk. Taika Waititi brings some new energy to the Thor universe. This movie feels more like Guardians of the Galaxy. And not to say that it doesn't feel like Thor, it still does, but it's definitely a different kind of animal. And you know what? It's a welcome energy to this universe. The cast is pretty good. Chris Hemsworth, I think, has never been better as Thor. It's very easy to forget that he is as good as he is. And Thor doesn't necessarily strike you as being the most intelligent of the Avengers because of how Hemsworth has chosen to play him, with that heroic swagger rolled up with the dumb jock high school quarterback. Once again, Hemsworth is a good actor and he has some great comic chops. He's heroic, but he's also funny. If he had to, he could carry the movie, but he definitely doesn't have to, because Tom Hiddleston is also back as Loki. And it's probably fair to say that he has never been better as Loki. You can always count on Loki to do what's in his best self-interest. He is, after all, the god of mischief. But you always want to believe that he might just be turning over a new leaf. And when he doesn't, you're always a little bit disappointed. But he still has that ability to surprise you. Hiddleston is, as always, amazing. Sir Anthony Hopkins returns as well to bring some needed gravitas to the affair. He doesn't have a lot of screen time, but his presence is definitely felt throughout. The case would probably be the same also for Idris Elba as Heimdall. And in the two previous outings, Heimdall is notoriously absent from screen most of the time. He just kind of stays there manning the sword. But this time out, he has a bit more to do. And I think Elba fans will be pleased that Heimdall does get more screen time, although not a lot more. But there are opportunities to see him do more in the Thor story. The newcomers also bring some welcome energy to the world. Tessa Thompson plays Valkyrie. Not going to say a whole lot about her character. If you're a comic fan, then you already know about Valkyrie. But she is a great addition as well. She brings the humor. She brings some great sexy energy, and she serves the story well. That's about all I can say about that at this point. Also, Karl Urban joins the cast as Scourge. As much as I like Karl Urban is a character actor sort of trapped in a leading man's body. But Scourge doesn't really add much to the movie for me, except for giving Hela someone to talk to tell the audience why she's so pissed off. So basically he's kind of there for exposition. But the storyline in the movie does borrow from a storyline from the comic. So it seems that perhaps it was meant to pay homage to the character's comic origins. But other than that, once again, he doesn't hurt the movie, but I'm thinking that it was really kind of unnecessary. One of the surprises for me is the director himself, Taika Waititi, plays Korg. So in addition to directing all of this stuff, manning this three-ring circus, he has the time to put himself in a mocap suit and play a rock creature. Korg also has roots into the comic, just pretty much as every character does. But one of the nice things about what Waititi does with the character is he makes him very funny, very charming. He gives him this quirky New Zealand accent. And every moment that Korg is on screen, you know something interesting is going to fly out of his mouth. Speaking of interesting things flying out of people's mouths, Jeff Goldblum plays Grandmaster, once again another character with strong comic book roots. Jeff Goldblum pretty much just plays himself. He does. And you know what? You don't care. He is hilarious on screen. He completely steals every scene that he's in. I completely loved his version of Grandmaster. Cate Blanchett comes as Hela, and let's face it, Cate Blanchett is so good, she could have done this role in her sleep and not screwed it up. They don't overdo it in telling her backstory in this movie. They do give you some exposition to set up why she's so pissed off. Blanchett, she's got 2 Oscars, so this was a pretty easy no-brainer as far as casting her and just letting her do her thing, and she does not disappoint. This is probably as close as we're going to get to seeing a Hulk movie. And Hulk does not disappoint in this movie. This is more dialogue than Hulk has ever had. Actually, this is the first time Hulk has had dialogue. He has spoken. Let me see. Grr, puny human, take it all, puny god, I think there might have been a Hulk smash, but now this time he actually is speaking and interacting with other characters. And Mark Ruffalo does an outstanding job of bringing both Hulk and Banner to the screen. 2 distinctly different characters, 2 characters that don't like each other, who have to share the same body. And watching both of those characters interact with Thor was pretty funny. If I had to nitpick, I would say that cramming a joke every place that it would fit might have served to undermine the weight of the movie. The stakes are still pretty high. People are still killed. Many people fall, and Hela doesn't care who gets in her way in order to take Asgard. So it does what a film's supposed to do in terms of permanently changing the universe in which it takes place. But we don't necessarily feel the weight of that because the energy is so light. But to Waititi's credit, he takes 2 hours and 10 minutes of film and he doesn't make it drag. He also doesn't cram things into it. It doesn't feel like he's stuffing things in just for the sake of getting them in. I'm giving it a 4. I definitely enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to what is coming out in the MCU next. We know that there are some biggies in the pipeline. Right now it seems like they cannot miss. But if you disagree or agree, please leave your comments below. And please hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content. Yes, we intend to spoil you. The holidays are coming up. Good time to get spoiled. Guys, check back with us in a few, because as I mentioned, me and the boys are going to get together and talk a bit more about Thor Ragnarok and also discuss the MCU as a whole. We'll see you then. Take care.